gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the third spud winter thingy. We'll, as soon as the snow is gone, we will discontinue the race immediately. Here we are at the insert track name here, and I'm very attractive, and with me, as always, is the street walking cheetah with a head full of napalm, Michael Mags.
Ooh, I like that one. That's a good intro. I enjoy it.
It's a line from Iggy and the Stooges song.
So, I mean, I've got some good news for you, Byron. We got three golf liveried cars in the field.
Very nice.
They are driven by Matt Higgs, unfortunately.
All three of them?
One of them is driven by Matt Higgs. One is driven by John Archie. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him, but I think you are.
I don't think so.
And the third one is, I believe, Max Simmons, but it might be Josh McLaughlin. It's one or the other.
McLaughlin.
And this is the 3D Speed Series, the season opener at Barcelona. It is raining here in the qualifying session, which was very rude because everything up until this point had been dry. And then it randomly decided to dump on everybody. And Andreas Lasutis having a little bit of a moment. This is the first series that is going to have a BMW M4 in it for the entire series. Now, to give you the lowdown on the BMW M4, which is being driven by Neil Sutherland, Mark Sutherland, and Jeremy Reeder, it is overpowered right now. Basically,
good, right?
To put it in terms that you, Byron, would understand. You know how in World of Tanks, when a new tank comes out, it's kind of OP.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's got that, you need to go get this flavor. That's kind of what the M4's got right now. So in GT racing, there's this thing called BOP, balance of performance. And it's basically takes the car and kind of makes it competitive within the performance category. The M4 hasn't had that happen yet.
Fair enough.
So it's all shiny and turboed up and on all the car steroids right now. That's basically the problem. And it's kind of OP, although in the wet, we're all kinds of messed up. Josh McLaughlin up in 4th place. Mark Sutherland up in 6th place. Yours truly in 11th place. Benjamin Adamian in the top 10. Things will change in the race, I think, because, I mean, for example, Dominic Turcotte was one of the top guys in practice. He's down in 12th place. So, definitely a bit of a problem. Although, if the rain continues, I mean, the Bentley should be at an advantage because they're basically a luxury liner craft.
I agree with all the previous statements.
We got a couple of new guys in the field this season. Connor Costantini is down in last place. He is new. Another friend of Tom Waz's. We've also got Martin Matassa is a new man to the grid. And the return of one of your favorites, Benjamin Jouari.
Very nice. Welcome, Bench Warrant.
He has returned, and it is good to have him back. Reigning champion Andrew Borden not in the field, so we will have a new, as in not a defending champion, although Matt Higgs, of course, has been champion in the past, so if he were to win again, this would be not an entirely new champion. But I think things are going to be interesting, open at the front, and I'm hoping for good things.
Well, you will be surely disappointed because only bad things will happen. All the cars will explode all the time.
Jeremy Reeder also making his debut. He's been in the Sunday series for a little bit, but this is his debut in 3D Speed. He starts from P19 in the BMW M4. You can kind of see him there where the turn in the track starts. He's the inside car there beside the Audi of Ayrton Arsenault, which is incredibly patriotic. It is the Star Spangled Banner, that motherfucking car, and it's going to be interesting to watch it. We're not doing night races, so Byron, you can see all the liveries actually relatively clearly.
The night races didn't ever bother me. It's just that you wanted me to give opinions on liveries, and it's in the fucking dark. What do you want me to do?
I know. That's all I mean. I didn't say it was a problem. I'm just saying the liveries are all shiny and open. One car is running the incorrect livery. That is Simeon Naku's Ferrari. He had called the Rinaldi livery. Rinaldi was already taken. But he did not get that message before the race started because those who are unfamiliar with Simeon Naku, he basically arrives like right at the end of qualifying and then races. It's why you'll generally see him move forward throughout the race because he generally doesn't have a lot of time to qualify. And as a result, he is running the wrong livery, but will be in the correct livery next race. He'll be swapping over to the AF Corsa livery. So, starting from pole position, it is going to be Max Simmons, I do believe. It's not being shown on the screen right now. This is Barcelona, if I didn't mention that, the home of the Spanish Grand Prix for both motorcycles and Formula One. Not the best track that Spain has to offer, for being completely honest. I'm probably a little bit more preferable to the Valencia streets or the Valencia circuit, as well as the Jerez circuit, but they're not in the game, so that doesn't really matter. In fact, they're in very, very few games. Although Valencia should be in this game at some point because it is now part of the SRO calendar. We ride on board with Dan French to get the start going here.
Is he one of them Frenchophones?
To my knowledge, he is not. He's Canadian. Lives in the Ontario region.
Gross. That's like a wasteland.
It's interesting that we get this much onboard time with somebody. This is not usually how we start the race, but we are literally just going to be staring at him. And we're going to see a little bit of the Lamborghini of Scott Johnson, which is the green car to his left.
I bribed Martin to just keep it focused on one driver the whole race.
And we are green, 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 and we are going here at Barcelona. And that is side-by-side action between Dan French and Martin Matassa, who struggled in qualifying in his ESR debut. Are we really going to get this on board for this long?
Yeah, I was joking, but now I'm kind of interested.
I'm kind of concerned now. Well, guys, this is the inside of a Mercedes AMG Evo GT3. You can see, of
I don't like
course,
his helmet. It's too gauche.
well, this is the default helmet and suit that most of the cars are rocking. The only people who have custom suits and helmets are Max Simmons, myself, and John Archie, because everyone else didn't give me one.
I like how they got that carbon fiber pipe coming in directly from the engines just to give you all the exhaust fumes right in the face.
Actually, that's a completely separate air conditioner unit that is not linked to the car in any way, actually.
I prefer to think of it as the suicide pipe. It's
could be the suicide pipe as
killing
well.
you the entire race.
Could be the suicide pipe as well.
Suicide.
Well, we've got gaps to comment on, but we really don't have much to do here because there we go. We can see cars now. French is battling with, that is Tom LeBoeuf in the Hob Auto car. Ayrton Arsenault looking to the inside there, but nothing doing. Nothing happening this time around. Looks like he was trying to make a move on Simeon Naku in the green and black Ferrari. And up at the front, it is Matthew Higgs leading the way from Silvio Cortese. And if Max Simmons started on pole, he's been pulled back down to third place. William Murrah is in fifth place in the Ferrari, followed by Neil Sutherland, John Archie, Dominic Turcotte, Brandon Baker, and Mark Sutherland. And Archie actually dropping down to 10th place there. So Higgs in the lead. Interesting enough, Dan French appears to not have a flag. I'll have to go check his entry list to make sure I have not made an error. We saw the Canadian flag there with Matt Higgs. The hidden ability to set entry lists with flags, of course, within ACC is well documented at this point. Higgs leads from Cortese, Simmons, McLaughlin, Murrah, Neil Sutherland, Turcotte, Baker, Mark Sutherland, and John Archie. Michael Magnuson, 11th place out of Ben Chouari. Cliff Hemian. Jeremy Reeder had a really good start. He's up to 14th place. Zachary Martin, also a very good start. He's up to 15th, looking to get the Silver Cup this season. Benjamin Adamian, Andreas Lasutis, Simeon Naku, Arsenault, and French, your top 20. And once again, the pro entries are the white backgrounds on the number plate. The silvers are silver, and the reds are the bronze crew.
I thought the reds were just on fire.
They are not. But they're the opposite on fire, because they are technically the slowest drivers.
I demand more fire.
On the rear of the BMW M4 of Neil Sutherland of the Momo Fine Racing Team, the Sutherland Run racing team that as of course ran last season. I want to say it was the two of them and John Picha, but this season they have upgraded to the BMW M4 from the Ferrari 488 Evo and also added Jeremy Reeder in replace of Picha. Dominic Turcotte in the Prestige Bentley crew.
Prestige Worldwide.
Hmm. We actually had a challenge that would have been worthy of you. Tom Waz and Connor Constantini couldn't figure out a name for their team, and I'm like, they're Bentleys, sir. They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, there are so many jokes you can work with that. So many boat references, so many Her Majesty's Navy work, and you can't think of anything? That's sad.
Just things with bent in the name.
That too? That
Could
too?
have been Get Bent Racing.
Side-by-side action there between Neil Sutherland and Josh McLaughlin. So he relegates McLaughlin down to 6th position. McLaughlin racing for the KCMG team, which is a rarity in this series, Byron. We actually have a hybrid team of 2 Porsches and a Nissan.
I demand the
They've gone that
Datsuns
route.
take their rightful place on the top of the field.
Oh, a Datsun GT3 car would be most impressive. Number of teams in play here. We got 2 Bentley teams, the BMW team, 2 Porsche teams. We have the Audi team of Ayrton Arsenault and Michael Magus in WRT. Brandon Baker being held off there by Dominic Turcotte. And we check back with the aforementioned Ayrton Arsenault. Dan French climbing through the grid. He's up to 18th place, having started in 23rd. And he's trying to get past Simeon Naku there for 17th place. And I think he will through the S's here. The Ferrari got a little bit too deep on the brakes. No, he hangs on. Arsenault on the tail of Tom LeBoeuf. Good to have Tom LeBoeuf back in the field. The Beef. Oh, and contact between Arsenault and LeBoeuf. Arsenault coming up the rough side of that one. Michael Magus leading a train here. He's in 11th place ahead of the Bentleys of Ben Chouari and Cliff Hemian. Chouari running solo.
Gonna put him in the wall. Ben Chouari, Ben Chouari, put him in the wall.
Chouari running solo with the Boulet Racing entry.
And with the Hulk Hogan livery.
I have gone with the Macho Man, Randy Savage, Hulk Hogan, all kinds of red and yellow. I was going to go with the green Castrol livery, and then I really looked at the car and went, that white looks kind of ugly.
That sounds fair.
So I went with this one. We're running the Audi Sport instead of the Belgium Audi team name, so I figured I wanted to stick with that. So I couldn't go with the Golf liveried Audi or the BioCircle green and white and black, which I do usually run. But yeah, we're going Hulkamania. We're good. Magus Mania is running wild, brother.
Oh, Racist Mania's coming for you, brother. What are you gonna do when the mustache drops 300 biceps upon your...
What are you gonna do when these 36-inch tires run over you?
Report you to the NAACP because you're Hulk Hogan's a racist fuck.
Gotta take your octane pills. We will be doing this all season. Let's be real.
Oh yeah.
We'll pull back the curtain into the pro wrestling fandom of the 1980s and 90s.
Need Legion of Doom cars.
Legion of Doom cars would be good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, could do rocker cars as well.
Fair. That's basically it. Pick any 4 colors and throw them at a thing, and it's
it's got to be a slightly psychedelic, kind of like scheme. It's got to be flowing. It can't be like straight lines. That doesn't work.
That's true.
There's a certain flair, a certain pizzazz. Josh McLaughlin, by the way, dropping through the field, losing spots to Dominic Turcotte and to Brandon Baker. So he is down to 8th place. I didn't think he would hang around in the top 5. He qualified 4th, but I think he was assisted by the fact that the qualifying session started greasy and then went to wet. So if you got a lap in early, you were kind of artificially promoted through the field to a certain degree. We do have one pit stop to deal with. That is what the 1 beside everyone's name or everyone's number indicates there in the orange box. And that can be made at any time. There is no pit window. Speaking of Josh McLaughlin, under pressure from Mark Sutherland for the top silver honors right now against the BMW M4. And John Archie there in the second of the, or the third of the Super Team GPX, Porsche North America crew. Matt Higgs first, Simmons third, and Archie in 10th. So that team is gonna be hard to beat this season, especially as only one other team has 3 cars. So hint, hint, nudge, nudge, everybody. If you want to be competitive for the team title, you kind of need to come up with a 3-car lineup. And
I would recommend just stealing any 3 cars.
By the way, Marcel Letelier is our earliest pitter. He is down at the back of the pack now, having served his pit stop. That's why he has the green beside his number as opposed to the orange. So McLaughlin under pressure from Mark Sutherland. John Archie right there as well. I think we'll probably be sticking with this battle for 8th place for a little bit. And Archie, ooh, don't know if that move was on, Archie. Kind of just got bullied out wide by the BMW when he came in too close.
Time for revenge.
Did see a bunch of dust there. I wonder if that's maybe Brandon Baker or somebody having a brief touch of the grass. Pick up Martin Matasma, who is on the tail of Connor Costanini. Although I think he's actually overtaken Connor, because I think that's... No, that's Tom Laws. Connor is the blue BMW, and Tom is the green one for the CMR liveried cars. CMR, of course, the spiritual successor to the M Sport factory team.
Well, what about the one in the bright red car with all the paisley on it, with the Glock hanging out the window?
Oh, that'd be interesting. One of the BMWs falling back. That is Jeremy Reeder, who is showing some damage to his front end. He's falling considerably through the field. There is Hemian on the tail of Magus. It is now Zach Martin up into 12th place. These guys have been stuck behind Magus for a while. You'd think they would maybe ponder the undercut.
No, just put him in the wall.
That too. But Audi, McLaren, Bentley. So Germany leading the Brits.
Give them the old inside-outside, spit them off the track, and put them into the fans in the stands.
Oh boy. No, don't do that. That's deadly for the fans.
Andres
Lasudis into the pits.
You gotta make an omelet by breaking some eggs. You charge them extra. For you are now in the splash zone.
If I were Jeremy Reeder, I would get into the pit lane, just thinking here, because Reeder, of course, definitely has some significant damage to the front of his BMW. It would be a really good time to get that fixed. He's losing time out there, and it's not a ridiculously early point in the race. There's only 28 minutes to go. We are over a quarter distance. And there you can see the BMW of Neil Sutherland chasing William Murrah in the Ferrari 488 Evo car. One of 3 in today's field, along with Simeon Naku and Tom LaBeouf.
That would be a 3 vote.
Maybe. Speaking of which, there you can see Naku in the green one in the background, and LaBeouf behind him. Dominic Turcotte has been overtaken by Brandon Baker in the Jensen Rocket liveried McLaren 720S. Livhemia, thought about it. Did not come through, though. And Michael Magus manages to sprint a little bit away from the trailing Brit pack as they squabble amongst themselves. Hemian going to the inside for turn 1. Couple of pit stop cars in there. That is one of the KCMG Porsches coming out. That probably would be McLaughlin, I would imagine.
Actually, it's Richard Nixon.
It could be Andres Lasudis if Andres had a really long pit stop, I suppose. We'll see at the next timing gate if McLaughlin has fallen down the order. Jeremy Reeder is in the pits. And Zach Martin trying to go on the attack, as is Cliff Hemian. Martin Matasma also in the pit lane.
What's this about being metastasized?
Matassa, pardon me. I keep wanting to add an M, and I don't know why. There's probably some MMA fighter with the last name Matasma, and it's messing me up. But it's Matassa. Or Mateza? I don't know. Let us know, Martin, how to pronounce your name.
It's Martin.
Well, I know the first name. Last name, sir. Last name.
I believe
First names are not normally a problem. I think every so often a first name comes up that is a bit of a problem. I can't remember the last first name we really struggled with.
I mean, you have a lot of problem with Martin.
I do not. We have problems remembering what first name goes to what last name sometimes, but I don't think we've struggled with one in a while. I mean, we did sort of struggle with Yadong as a first name, but that's just because I really didn't believe it was Yadong until he's like, no, that is how it's pronounced. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yadong Song.
Well, this is Yadong Tershin, which was a racer that was with us for a short period of time. Zach Martin dodges into the pit lane, so he's going to go for the undercut. 25 minutes and change left as we ride on board with Cliff Hemian. Look at the spacious Bentley. The height of luxury. Benjamin Adamian also in the pit lane. Adamian's had a rough time. Started this race in 10th, currently runs in 19th. So he's seen better days. We're getting a really prolonged in-car shot here.
It seems to be the new shenanigans. Did somebody do an update that probably should not have been done?
Possibly. I think probably another possibility would be Martin didn't set the settings properly. KCMG's Josh McLaughlin battling with Mark Sutherland. So John Archie has gotten past both of these guys, and they are still squabbling over what is now 9th place. Previously, it was 8th place.
And later on, it'll be.
You can see Archie in the. You can see Archie there in the Gulf oil colored Porsche up ahead. Stop-go penalty for Benjamin Adamian. That would be for speeding in the pit lane, I assume.
I mean, that just means he didn't go fast enough because he was driving slow enough they actually saw him.
There he is rejoining there in the Inception liveried McLaren in the red and black. Ben Chouari in the pit lane.
Just remember, kids, if you go fast enough through the pit lane, they don't even see you. Just put the hammer down.
That's how you lose your license in racing in real life. Is going too fast.
Should be rewarding people like, come on, you want to go fast?
But you want to be safe.
Nah.
What do you think of the new KCMG Porsche livery there, Byron? That is Josh McLaughlin's car.
That's all right.
Number 64.
Biggs reminds me of some Reebok shoes I owned as a kid.
Oh, yeah, a little bit. Stop-go penalty also for Martin Matassa.
Metastasize.
Zachary Martin running in 22nd, but he is also pitted. Second amongst the pit stoppers. He's behind Marcel Letelier. Letelier's undercut may work out pretty well because he's cleared a couple of cars that were ahead of him. And it'll be interesting to see where that Nissan shakes out to. Through the chicane, and another lap completed. Higgs and Murr in the pits. So the race lead has turned to Silvio Cortese.
Crazy Cortese.
Could be a worthwhile nickname. Adamian in to serve his stop-go.
Actually, sir, we're changing the nomenclature. It is now a halt commence.
And Dan French and Cliff Hemian in the pit lane. Hemian's fallen quite a ways back, so he's on some hard times. Wonder if he's picked up some damage at some point. Pick up Simeon Naku running in 10th place. That is pit-assisted 10th place, though. Michael Magus ahead of him, and behind him, that is one of the BMWs. I think that might be Jeremy Reeder down a lap. Or that could actually be Neil Sutherland running. No, I'm not sure. I think that's Reeder running down a lap. Is my guess.
You have guessed wrong because it's Kevin Steen with a steel chair.
Well, unless I can get a look at the number, it is Reeder. It's the 66 car, so that is Jeremy Reeder down a lap. Because I was gonna say it's not Tom LaBeouf, and Tom LaBeouf is the guy behind Naku on track. So that's Reeder and presumably Andreas Lasutis. I'm not sure if they're battling for position or if they're having a completely different race to everyone else. Could be the fight for 23rd position, though.
And the loser gets fed to the dingoes.
And it is. We can confirm. Dan French rejoining the festivities. He has a drive-through penalty. Not sure what that would be for, because if it was speeding in the pit lane, he would have got a stop-go, not a drive-through. That implies a track cut penalty. Rejoins ahead of Cliff Hemian, so a lot of work he's done to make up a couple of spots will come to nothing. Matt Higgs is tops amongst the pit stoppers. 16th. We got 14 cars yet to pit. John Archie's in the pit lane. And Ayrton Arsenault comes in. I believe Arsenault currently the top bronze runner. McLaughlin leading silver, and Cortese is your pro leader at the moment, but I still think effectively probably Matt Higgs is the leader, but we'll see how the pit stops shake out. Connor Costanini and Tom nope, just Connor. And Scott Johnston. That was the other one. Into the pit lane. Getting their pit stops out of the way. That is Tom Waz rejoining not Tom Waz rejoining the race. That is Tom Waz, pardon me.
No, it's not.
Ahead of Matt Higgs. That is for position, but not really. And Waz does not fight that too hard.
Is that because he's real cheese people?
Well, Tom Waz is real cheese people, but I would suggest it's more that he realizes it was a bit of a foolish fight, and handles his business. Dan French in to serve his penalty. Cortese in the pit, so Max Simmons is in the lead because it's a race with a pit stop. Max Simmons is going to be in the lead at some point. I mean, this is the rule we've learned. Neil Sutherland and Dominic Turcotte also staying out.
And Matt Higgs coming around the corner and ends up at the wall.
Oh, that's right. There's only 2 Golf liveried cars because Matt Higgs went with the GPX Martini look as opposed to the Golf.
What an ignorant slut.
So, what I'm trying to say, Byron, is boo this man!
Mm-hmm. You have betrayed the only livery that ever existed. You shall pay. With your life.
You've gone with Martini over Golf.
I mean, at least he went with booze.
Actually, I think that's ironically the only booze livery in the entire field because traditionally speaking, the SRO series, which ACC is based off of, does not allow alcohol sponsorship. Martini somehow got a special exemption or something like that to be on the card. But anyways,
it's a diet martini. It's fine.
Maybe non-alcoholic martini. There you go.
Super alcoholic martini.
Higgs comes out ahead of Cortese, so that's good for him. About 5 seconds up. That is one of the cars he's battling with. That's Connor Costanini that we are on board with. In his Bentley, getting ready to rejoin the festivities. That is Tom Waz in the pit lane ahead of him. So it's both the... I forget what name I established for their team, but the boat crew is in the pits. Max Simmons in the lead. Neil Sutherland into the pit lane for the BMW M4. So yet to pit, Simmons, Turcotte, McLaughlin, Mark Sutherland, and Brandon Baker.
And Kiefer
Oh.
Sutherland.
As I say that, Brandon Baker comes in the pit lane. So actually it is down to Simmons, Turcotte, McLaughlin, and Mark Sutherland. Interesting to see the Bentley go super long. That car is not the easiest on its tires, so you would expect a more 50-50 roll for them. But Dominic Turcotte is pushing this one into the last, well, it'll be 15 minutes, in less than 15 minutes left by the time he pits. As we ride on board with Neil Sutherland as he rejoins. Where is Matt Higgs? That is the question if you're Neil Sutherland. We change over to Josh McLaughlin. That is the car of Scott Johnson. So that's a lap car behind him. That's not a problem. But he does have Mark Sutherland. Still pretty close. That BMW a little bit further back. Leading the Silver Cup by 2.5 seconds. And a stop-go penalty for Michael Magus, speeding in the pit lane.
Telling you, man, you just need to go faster. Then they can't catch you.
I mean, there's something to be said for that, because you get the stop-go penalty for 1 kilometer over, you get the stop-go penalty for 50 kilometers over, so hey!
Just give her.
I think I actually had a whole rant about that on the Mio on board video for this race, which you can go check out over at Mio Dread Gaming on YouTube. Marcel Letellier has found his way into the top 10 with that early pit stop. Not saying that was the only way to go. Some long pit stops might work out as well. Neil Sutherland coming out behind Matt Higgs. Very close. We'll see where Simmons ends up, because of course he's the interesting one here. He's going super long. And if anyone knows anything about going super long in a race, it is Matt Higgs.
I thought you were going to say Max Simmons.
Max Simmons, pardon me. I screwed it up. That
Josh
McLaughlin in the pit lane. And Dominic Turcotte in the pit lane.
Maximum Higgs.
Someone is demanding that the 109 or the 95-pound weight class for Invicta be created and be named Bosun weight. And that way, if someone with the last name Higgs ever wins it, it's the Higgs Bosun Championship.
Very nice.
Josh McLaughlin leaving the pit lane. See if he can retain his silver lead and also his top 10 position. Well, he won't be in the silver lead because Mark Sutherland is yet to pit. We'll see where he comes out. It's showing 9th, which means about where he was before, behind John Archie. And ahead of Marcelo Letellier. Looks like that is correct. Mike Magus in to serve his penalty, and we still await Max Simmons and Mark Sutherland's pit stops. So one of the BMW M4 is going super deep here today at its debut in the 3D Speed Series. OP car appears to be not too bad on its tires. Be interesting to check out Mark's lap times during this period. As we pick up Ben Schwari, running in 13th place ahead of Simeon Naku. No sign of rain, so it looks like we're good to go on dries to the end of this race for the last 12 and a half minutes.
I demand an immediate torrential downpour, typhoon style.
You would.
I would. Surprise!
Surprise, motherfuckers. In the background there, one of the Optimum cars, the reception car. I believe that's Benjamin Adamian trying to make a pass. And we pick up Matt Higgs, who is still in front of Neil Sutherland. Probably the battle for the ultimate win here. Still waiting on Mark Sutherland and Max Simmons' pit stops. They're about the only ones that can maybe get into this. Oh! Simmons is wide! Or pardon me, Higgs is wide. And I think Neil Sutherland just took the effective lead of the race right there. Didn't get a very good look at it as we saw it from the wing cam of Matt Higgs. But we'll see if Higgs can come back. You're getting a lot of wing cam here. A lot of wang.
Chicken wags?
Chicken wing. Turkey wing. Matt Higgs running now in 4th place. Effectively, this should be 2nd. I would like to get a look at the gap that the 2 non-pitted cars have to the pit stop leaders. It would also be interesting to see what lap times they are running as well as the tires run down. Because at this point, everybody should be posting. Everyone who's pitted probably is posting relatively some of their quickest times of the race, except for maybe the people like Letelier who went very early. And at this point, as much as these tires absolutely can do the entire race, there should be a little bit of drop-off going on right now for Simmons and Sutherland. And there is Mark Sutherland, who is running, last lap was a 46.5. Not too bad. His fastest lap is only a 45.8, so only about 7/10 off.
What's that in 40-yard dash so the Americans can keep up?
Simeon Naku, of course, one of the few people who can't have the flag that he wants in this game because it's not in the game.
What flag is that?
He is from Moldova, and their flag is absent from ACC.
It's because it's not a real country.
So he has the Canadian flag instead, as he is a resident of the Great White North now. All right, Max Simmons into the pit lane. See where he comes out. Moment of truth. Is Neil Sutherland the race leader, or is it Max Simmons? What do you think, Byron?
It's going to be Ben Schwartz.
You think it's going to be Ben Schwartz? Oh, that's a bold prediction.
Captain Schwarma himself.
I will say the guy who lost out on these pit stops really is Silvio Cortese, who was looking for a podium and is now in 8th place. We're also getting some serious lag going on here. Thinking of Simeon Naku, who's battling with Cliff Hemian. And Matt Higgs is coming through along with Neil Sutherland, catching up to Michael Magus, who runs in 23rd position after his stop-go penalty. And I think they are going to beat Max Simmons, because Simmons is exiting the pit lane as we speak. And I think he will lose out to both men, as well as quite possibly Dominic Turcotte and William Murrah. I think he stayed out too long, which I feel like I need a bumper sticker for that. Max Simmons stayed out too long. Gonna have a hard time.
And I are worried you're staying out all the time.
His tire pressures are only going to be up to ideal. Relatively very, very little time left in this race, so he has fallen from the podium behind Dominic Turcotte, who really made great work of the pit stops. He's your big winner up onto the podium, and also losing out to William Murrah and Neil Sutherland. But he did overtake Silvio Cortese by going out long, so it's not all bad. By the way, fastest lap of the race belongs to Brandon Baker. It's handy that that's now on the HUD there. The purple position indicates fastest lap.
Oh, I thought that he had been made royalty.
Well, he is by being the fastest guy. Silvio Cortese looking for a move on John Archie there. Nothing doing. Some damage showing on the Lamborghini of Scott Johnson. I believe the only Lamborghini in the field, actually. I think there's another one signed up, but he didn't make this race. Here's Matthew Higginbottoms trying to get some pressure on race leader Neil Sutherland as William Murrah laps Michael Magus in the background. Or pardon me, it was Turcotte who lapped Magus. Pardon me, I am incorrect.
Dominic Turncoat.
Well, he's in a Bentley, so I don't think he can really be the turncoat in this case.
You can barely turn.
You excited for tonight's fights there, Byron?
I am pumped. I think the guy with 13 losses on his record will steal the show.
Oh, you talking about Gavin Kroom now, the late
I was
replacement?
vaguely looking over the card and was like, wait, why? What? Okay, these guys are on the prelims, I guess.
Gavin Kroom is what you call a all or nothing type of guy. He's going to go out there. He's going to get really adventurous. He's going to try and choke you, and if that fails, he's going to get beaten up.
Fair enough.
It could go either way, because Brian Kelleher, the guy he's fighting, has got a couple of choke losses on his record. It's definitely a style that could work, but he also hits very hard.
That is fair.
Matt Higgs getting a little bit out of shape there on the last turn. And Neil Sutherland gets his gap out to... Well, actually it closed, so... Who am I to judge? It's down under a second again. Cortese on the tail of John Archie. In the background there is one of the Boatleys. That's Tom Wasp.
Oh,
or no, that's Connor. Connor is the blue. Tom is the green. I will get my head around that at some point.
It's going to take you the rest of the year.
Cortese looking at the inside. No, well, if I end up racing with them a lot, I'll figure it out. Because, I mean, after all of my, like, insulting Tom when I was talking with him and Connor about how they're like, oh, you'll see the rear view, our rear wing at some point. Like, nah, I won't. I did, in fact, end up behind them after the stop-go pedal. And ended up fighting with the two of them for the last... Well, right now I'm fighting with Tom Was, actually. As RC pointed out on my Mio on board video, it was me versus the boats all day long. all day fighting with the Bentleys.
Were you singing the Jaws theme song?
I don't know if you can really sing the Jaws theme song so much as
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Gonna need a bigger boat. Mm-hmm. Josh McLaughlin battling with Brandon Baker. And we pick up Connor Constantini, running in 24th place. Not overly sure why, but hey, what's up, Connor? And Zachary Martin just on the back of this battle for 8th place between McLaughlin and Baker. Baker trying to go around the outside of the hairpin. McLaughlin pushes him wide, but that's going to be the inside come the sweeper. And the Porsche is going to hang on for the time being. It's the two McLaren 720s who are battling for second place amongst the 720s. That's the former OP car. Now it's the M4s. But the 720 is still very, very good. I think it just kind of lacks a truly complete package driver at the moment. And this is no disrespect to Cortese, Baker, or Martin, who are all very good drivers. They'll have their own little faux pas as Baker goes down the inside of McLaughlin, who squeezes him to the line, but no further. Clean driving. And Zach Martin would like to get a nose in there and fight for the silver lead. Marcel Letelier falling back a little bit. Doesn't look like he's dropped off too much. Last lap was a 46.6, so doesn't seem like he's struggling particularly with the car, but he has fallen out of the top 10. And now has to deal with the BMW M4 of Mark Sutherland. So what it could be is just that the other guys have stepped up their pace, having pitted a little bit later than he did, because he was the first one to go for the undercut. And he might be somewhat struggling right now with the pace picking up and him being unable to do so. That is the downside of the strategy. Side-by-side action between Martin and McLaughlin for silver lead, and Mark Sutherland goes down the inside of the Nissan of Marcel Letelier, but cannot hang on to it. Letelier gets it back. In the background, you can see Ben Schwari, Simeon Naku, and Cliff Hemian.
I was going to say, it looked like Homie made the pass and then just forgot what he was doing.
He broke too late, basically, and went too wide. Once you get off the track there, it's very bumpy and very hard to get back on the throttle. Gotta let the car settle. And just kind of went too deep, they call it.
Giggity.
Like Bob Ross, they go deep.
Indeed. Bob's dropping bombs like this was Guernica.
Air Force, United States of America.
Oh, so yesterday, volcano in Tonga fucking exploded. So, I don't know if that's going to have a major effect on anything, but, you know, it's pretty dramatic.
A little dramatic, yeah.
It's big enough that it showed up on satellite. Just like,
oh, that's big. That's
like
big.
The shockwave also showed up on satellite.
Oh, that's big. That's proper big. Dominic Turcotte has had a very solid race. Got to give credit where it is due. He's qualified outside of the top 10, running in the podium positions right now. The wet qualifying did not go his way, and he's avenged it here in the race. John Archie still hanging on against Cortese. McLaughlin still hanging on against Martin. There's also a battle way down the pecking order between Tom Waz and Michael Magus. That's got all kinds of bragging rights online. Between the only two people still around from the inaugural Zero Racing series that this 3D Speed series has spawned from, actually.
What about me?
Well, you were not there at the time.
I was around.
On the grid that day, Matt Wheeler of Australian fame took the win, as Neil Sutherland takes the win here today. Matt Higgs, second place. Dominic Turcotte, William Murrah, Max Simmons, John Archie, Silvio Cortese, Brandon Baker, that man Josh McLaughlin that we ride on to the cross the finish line. Zach Martin, your top 10. Silver podium will be McLaughlin, Martin, and Mark Sutherland. And the bronze winner is this man, Ayrton Arsenault. Finishes 16th overall, top Audi in the field. And he'll be joined on the bronze podium, it looks like, by Jeremy Reeder and Scott Johnston. And that can be confirmed.
Boom, smack right into him.
So a good bit of action, pretty clean, good looking stuff. And I haven't done the stewarding video yet, so that's coming up. And Byron, do you have any final thoughts?
I believe everybody raced dirty and everybody should be docked 75,000 points.
Oh, that's harsh. We're just waiting for Scott Johnston to get the checkered flag, and then we'll be off the air here. Come on, Scott. Where are you?
He did.
Car 519, please report to the finish line. There we go. We lost Martin Matassa along the way somewhere, and but otherwise everyone finished. 25 finishers out of 26 starters, and we'll see you at Monza.